So you clicked on this video because you saw a Japanese design secret, and you're probably wondering, what exactly is this secret? How can one principle work for my garden and my house and my mind? And most importantly, is this actually going to be practical? Or is this just some mystical concept I can't actually use? Well, you're in exactly the right place, because I'm about to show you the one Japanese principle that transformed not just my garden, but literally every space I design. And here's the thing, you can implement this in your garden in the next 10 minutes, in your home this weekend, and it will shift how you think about everything. By the end of the video, you'll know exactly what this principle is and how I use it to transform spaces from chaotic to peaceful. And I'll give you a simple 30-second test you can do right now to see if your space needs this transformation. But first, let's talk about what this principle is. What is kanso? Now, before you think this is just about removing stuff, which, yes, that's part of it, this principle goes way deeper than decluttering. The Japanese call it kanso, which means eliminating clutter in favor of simplicity, focusing only on what is essential and purposeful. But here's what most people get wrong about kanso. They think it means having less stuff. That's not it. Kanso is about having the right stuff, the things that serve a clear purpose and, like they say, bring you joy or a bit more function to your life. Here are a few before and after gardens. Before kanso, there were numerous types of plants here because most people think more variety means more interest. After applying kanso, the varieties are narrowed down, but arranged with intention. The result is this space now feels peaceful instead of chaotic, and ironically, people notice it more, not less. The Japanese discovered something fascinating. When you remove what doesn't belong, what remains becomes more powerful. Your brain can actually rest instead of constantly processing visual noise. The 30-second test. Okay, pause this video right now and do this with me. Look around your current space, whether you're in your garden or your living room, wherever you are, and ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. What's the first thing your eyes go to? 2. Are there things competing for your attention? 3. If someone asked you to describe this space in one word, what would it be? If you answered, I don't know where to look first. Yes, everything's fighting for attention. And you couldn't pick just one word. Your space needs kanso. Don't worry, I was there too. In the past, if you asked me to describe my garden in one word, I would have said busy. But now it's more peaceful. That shift happened because of what I'm about to show you. The kanso framework. Here's my simple kanso framework that works anywhere. I call it the keep, move, remove method. Keep. What serves a clear purpose and brings genuine joy? We've recently moved and I'm in the process of developing the new garden, but I've kept a few hardscaping items like my Japanese lanterns and the stone water basin because they each had a specific role and I've had a connection to them over some various moves that we've made. Move. What's in the wrong place? Sometimes you have something like beautiful hostas, but they can often end up scattered randomly. Move them all to one area where they can create impact together instead of getting lost. Remove. What's just there because it's there? Sometimes people end up with a collection of random garden ornaments or even plants and shrubs that they accumulate over the years. My father every spring would love to go to the garden centers and randomly grab what picked his eye, and then it all ended up thrown into the garden without a plan. Individually, they might be fine, but together they often create visual chaos. The magic happens when you realize that removing one unnecessary thing makes everything else look intentional. It's like editing a sentence. Every word that doesn't need to be there weakens the words that do. Look at these Japanese gardens. Instead of your eye bouncing around confused, it flows naturally throughout the scene. That's kanso working. Real examples: garden, home, mind. Let me show you how this works in 3 different areas. In the garden. Picture this. You walk into someone's garden and there are dozens of different plants scattered everywhere. Maybe there's a corner with 10 different types of flowers, 3 different mulches, random garden ornaments, and competing focal points. Your eye doesn't know where to land, right? Now imagine that same space, but instead of 10 flower types, there are maybe 3 varieties planted in intentional groups. Instead of random ornaments, there's one beautiful element that draws your eye naturally. Same space, same budget, but one feels like chaos and the other feels like a sanctuary. That's Kanso in action. In the home, think about walking into a kitchen where every corner has appliances. Every surface has decorative items and gadgets are scattered everywhere. Compare that to a kitchen where counters are mostly clear. Only frequently used items are visible and everything has a designated home. Both kitchens might have the exact same items, but in the second one, you can actually think clearly and cooking becomes enjoyable instead of overwhelming. In your mind, here's where it gets fascinating. When your physical spaces follow Kanso principles, something incredible happens to your mental state. You know that feeling when you walk into a cluttered room and suddenly feel stressed, even though you can't pinpoint why? That's your brain working overtime to process all the visual information. When you eliminate that visual noise, your mind literally has space to breathe. Decision fatigue drops because everything has a clear purpose and place. Research backs this up. Studies show that people in cluttered environments have higher cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone. When you apply Kanso to your spaces, you're not just organizing, you're actually creating conditions for better mental health and clearer thinking. Here's the biggest mistake I see people make when they first learn about Kanso. They think minimalism means boring. That's completely wrong though. Boring? I don't see it that way. It's dramatic, peaceful, and memorable. That's because each element can shine without competition. The goal isn't emptiness, it's clarity. When every element serves a purpose, magic happens. Now, Kanso is just one of the foundational principles I teach in my Shizen style approach. And honestly, it's the gateway drug to understanding Japanese design philosophy. Once you get Kanso, concepts like Ma, the power of negative space, and wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection, start making perfect sense. I'm actually releasing a comprehensive book called Seasonal Changes in Japanese Gardens, where I dive deep into how these principles work together to create gardens that are beautiful in every season. Kanso is woven throughout every chapter because you can't design effectively for seasonal change if your foundation is cluttered. The book shows you exactly how to apply these concepts to your specific climate and space, whether you're working with a tiny balcony or a large property. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Step 1, pick one small area, maybe a corner of your garden, a bookshelf, or even your desk. Apply the keep, move, remove framework right now. Don't overthink it, just trust your gut. Step 2, take a before photo. Make your changes, then take an after photo. I guarantee you'll be shocked at the difference. And the third thing is notice how you feel in that space over the next few days. That calm, organized feeling. That's Kanso working. Step 4, if you want to go deeper, start noticing Kanso in places you admire. That restaurant that feels so peaceful, they're probably using Kanso. That friend's house where you always feel relaxed, Kanso. Once you start seeing it, you can't unsee it. If this video helped you understand Kanso, hit the like button. It really helps other people discover these concepts also. And definitely subscribe because I'm sharing more Japanese design principles as we count down to the book launch. My newsletter is where you'll get the most up-to-date info and discounts though. Drop a comment and tell me what's one thing you're going to remove or reorganize using Kanso. I read every comment and I love seeing your transformations. Remember, the most beautiful spaces aren't the ones with the most stuff. They're the ones where every element has a reason to be there. That's the secret the Japanese have known for centuries, and now you know it too. Until next time, keep it simple, keep it purposeful, and keep it beautiful.